Frame 9. Solve by square root. These are the only quadratic equations that you do not solve by setting equal to 0. You do not have to set 5w squared plus 12 minus 8 equal to 0. What you have to do is get everything away from the variable. Isolate the variable. Move it over. Minus 12 from both sides. You're left with 5w squared equals negative 4. Remember, we're doing PEMDAS, order of operations, backwards. All adding and subtracting get done first. Okay, we subtracted 12. Any multiplying and dividing gets done second. All right, let's divide by 5. We have a fraction. Don't panic. It's okay. Exponents come next. In Algebra 1, the only exponents we have to care about is anything squared. We get rid of addition by subtraction. We get rid of multiplication by division. We get rid of a square using a square root. If I square root w squared, I now have w. And that's what I'm looking for. Over here, I'm going to square root negative 4/5, but without even putting that in a calculator, you know that you cannot square root a negative. There is no solution to this graph. You can't square root a negative. It's asking you what two numbers could equal 4/5. You can't multiply two numbers to equal negative 4/5. No solution on this one. Over here, we're going to add 11 to both sides. 3x squared equals 18. Adding and subtracting first. Division comes next. X squared equals 6. Square root comes next. The square root of 6. Use a calculator for that one. Rounded to the nearest tenth, it was, or hundredth, 2.449, which means x is approximately 2.449 or 2.45. The problem with this answer is that we've been talking about parabolas. Over here there was no solution because the parabola never hit the x-axis. Over here we only have one solution, but we should have two. 2.45, and we also need negative 2.45. Make sure you have both answers when solving by square root. Yes, it's okay on your final if you write x is approximately plus or minus 2.45. One positive and one negative. Let's try another one over here. B squared plus 14 equals 5. It looks like we have another negative. You're going to have no solution to that. And on this one, plus 18 to both sides. M squared equals 0. Yes, there is a solution to m squared equals 0. Finish it. M equals 0. That is an answer. Don't panic when you get 0. That means that your parabola came down, hit 0, and went back up. It's okay. It can happen. Okay? I don't want you to say that m equals 0 is no solution. 0 is a number. I've told my students this before. If it's 0 degrees outside, you don't go outside and say, oh my gosh, there is no weather today. It's gone. Or there's no temperature. Have you ever had no temperature? Okay, the temperature is 0. And here the answer is 0. M equals 0. And that is solving by square root. Continued on page 9, frame 9, you have to solve by x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. If you're brave enough, click there on your Chromebook. Try it. We're going to solve 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. We need to know that a is 2, that b is negative 5, and that c is 3. And then we can do x equals the opposite of b. Well, b already is negative 5, so I'm going to make it the opposite of that, positive 5. Plus or minus the square root, which is b squared. Why did I just point to the a? B squared. Do not use a negative in there. It gets too cumbersome and you need an extra set of parentheses, and anytime you square a negative, it's going to be positive anyway. Why cause more work? 5 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is 3, all over 2a. I knew you wanted me to sing it, but I'm not singing the whole thing. Don't forget the pop goes the weasel. Divide by the 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, calculate out this first. The discriminant under there. 5 squared minus 4 times 2 times 3. 5 squared is 25. 25 minus 24 is 1. Or you could use a calculator. 5 plus or minus the square root of 1 over 4. If this simplifies, go ahead and simplify it. Square root of 1 is 1. But I need 2 answers. Unless you can find the plus or minus button on your calculator. Type in 5 plus or minus the square root of 1 divided by 4. Keep looking. See if you can find that plus or minus button. If you can't, then you just type in parentheses, get the numerator, 5 plus 1 divided by 4, and parentheses 5 minus 1 divided by 4. Square root of 1 is 1. I already took care of that. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 divided by 4. You do not want to put that as, well, you can. You can put it as a fraction. Preferably most of the time you'll do decimals, 1.5. And on this one, 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Want to check and see if you did it right? Plug it in. 2 times 1.5 squared minus 5 times 1.5 plus 3. Hit equals, you'll get 0. 2 times 1 squared minus 5 times 1 plus 3. Hit equals, you'll get 0. Quadratic formula, solved by square root. The end of frame 9.